Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite philosophers of all time, Plato, and Plato's cave, and how that relates to your cubicle and helping you to see reality clearly. Quick question. What if everything you think is wrong about your job is actually right? What if everyone else is the one who can't see clearly? Plato's cave. This is a 2,400-year-old thought experiment that perfectly explains why your bad boss doesn't see what you see. And more importantly, how you might be stuck in the cave too. Plato told this story. Imagine people are chained in a cave since birth. They're facing a wall. Behind them is a fire. Between them and the fire, people walk by carrying objects, making shadows on the wall. All the chained people see are shadows on the wall, and they think the shadows are reality. They don't know that there's a fire. They don't know that there are real objects. They only know shadows. One day, someone actually breaks free. They turn around. They see the fire. They get up. They walk out of the cave. They see the sun. They see actual reality. Then he goes back to tell the others, and you know what happens? They think that he's crazy. They don't believe him. They're like hostile towards this person. This is like the Matrix. Everyone is plugged in, living in a simulation. Neo takes the red pill. He sees reality, and when he tries to unplug others, most people fight him. They prefer the comfortable lie. Your boss is in the cave. Here's the thing about your bad boss. They genuinely cannot see what you see. You see that their micromanaging destroys morale. They see quality control. You see that their inconsistency creates chaos. They see flexibility. You see that taking credit for your work is toxic. You see that, right? Like you see that they're taking credit for your work, and that's like mean and toxic, right? They see that as representing the team to leadership. They're not lying. They're looking at shadows and calling it reality. So why does this happen? Your boss has been rewarded for these behaviors over years, maybe decades. They got promoted by micromanaging. They survived by being inconsistent. The company literally trained them that the shadow is real. If you guys think about Office Space again, Lumbergh genuinely, that's the boss, thinks he's being a good manager. In his cave, making people work weekends and asking for the TPS reports, that's leadership. He can't see the soul-crushing reality that you're living. The system and the fire behind them is creating the shadow, and they think the shadow is how business works. By the way, you might be in the cave too, but here's where it gets uncomfortable, right? Like you might be in the cave. What if you think the only options are suffer under this boss or quit? But maybe there's a third option that you just haven't seen yet. What if you think you're powerless, but you're not? Maybe you have more leverage than you realize. What if you think this job defines your worth? Maybe you're staring at a shadow of your actual value. Maybe the work that you're doing doesn't matter as much, right? It all depends on how you view it. You could change that. Are you assuming this is how all jobs are? Are you believing that no one else was going to hire you? Are you thinking that you need this specific bad boss's approval to succeed in life? Think about that. These might be shadows too. These may be comfortable lies that you've accepted as the truth. The wake up here is sometimes we stay in bad situations because leaving the cave and seeing other possibilities, it's terrifying. The shadows are familiar. How do you exit the cave? How do you get out and how do you see clearly? The first step is to talk to people outside your cave. Talk to friends in other companies. Talk to recruiters. Talk to mentors. They will tell you, wait, your bad boss does what? That is not normal. You need external perspective. The other prisoners, the co-workers in this case, the people also working for the bad boss, they can't help you. They are chained too. Step 2, study other realities. Read about other company cultures. Browse job descriptions. See what good leadership actually looks like. Step 3, question everything that you have normalized up to this point. Do you think working every weekend is normal? It is not. Do you think bosses yelling is just them being passionate? That's not. Do you think you should feel anxious every Sunday night? You should not. Write down what you have accepted as just how it is. Then ask yourself, is this actually reality, or is this a shadow I've been staring at too long? The return to the cave. Here's the hardest part of Plato's allegory. That guy who escaped, he has to go back to the cave. Maybe to help others, maybe because he has bills to pay, maybe because he's not fully ready to leave yet, so maybe he just can't leave the job, right? When he goes back, knowing what he knows now, it's almost unbearable because now he sees the shadows for what they are. That is you right now. You're watching these videos, you're learning, you're seeing clearly, but you still have to go back to that cubicle, like Monday morning or whatever, tomorrow at work. The advantage for you here is now you know it's temporary. Now you know the shadows aren't real. Now you're making a plan. You're not chained anymore. You're just choosing to stay while you figure out your exit strategy. This is a little bit like Andy from Shawshank Redemption. He was planning his escape for years while still showing up every day. He knew the prison wasn't his reality. It was just his current location. In closing, your boss is in a cave. Your company might be in a cave. And you might have been in a cave. But the fact that you're here now, watching this, asking all the right questions to yourself, you are turning it around. You are seeing the fire, you're seeing reality, and you're heading towards the exit.